picture you saw on the icon there are both jails that I've been to many times, and I've spent many long times there with many events happening. So let's talk about an event that happened in the jail on the left, the remand center. I was in for armed robbery. Actually, it was robbery, but it was initially armed robbery, but they dropped it down to robbery. I don't know why, because I had a knife. And I robbed a McDonald's and I robbed a gas station. So I was in there, you know, had a couple of roommates. There's three of us in a cell. The one guy was kind of sketchy, but whatever. And I don't know, I just started this. This was before I found Christ. And I was really violent. I was really violent. I punched out someone, went to the hole, and all of a sudden I became really popular in the unit. I remember what happened. His zone was out at a different time. This was in Calgary, man. There's 4 zones. There's the upstairs and the downstairs, and there's one side and the other side, and there's 4 zones. So his zone was zone 4, and the door cracked for no reason. And I got out and I just went to his cell and beat the crap out of him. And I ended up going in the hole. And when I came back, I was like a legend. Like, this guy was bad news. And so, anyways, it got me into a long line of fist fights in the Calgary Man Center. I beat up this one guy. They sent me to the hole. Well, they brought me back to the unit after the fight, but I had to see the warden. And, like, I'm not even kidding you, 2 hours before I went, that I got sentenced. At 4 o'clock, we were out of our cells, and at 6 o'clock, I was sentenced to go to the hole for a week. I punched out somebody else at 4 o'clock, and yeah, no, I went to the hole for 2 weeks altogether. Now, here's the interesting part about this. And this is part of the reason why I'm not all there. But I went to the hole and it was crazy. I was hanging off the railing, threatening to kill myself. And they put me in observation. Then I went back and started a big argument about why that didn't count for my whole time, because I was secluded anyways. And I was there for like 2 weeks, and there's all kinds of stuff that happens in the hole. And this guy moves in next to me. His name is the Grinch. What kind of name is that? The Grinch. So anyways, the Grinch. He had like 5 grams of crystal meth, $500 worth, on the street. And I thought it was a point. I snorted the whole thing. I literally snorted all at once 500 grams, sorry, $500 worth of meth, all at the same time. And I went crazy. I literally went crazy. I picked a fight with the guards. I started walking around the unit, banging on people's cells. I think I might have trashed the phone or something. I took food and threw it all over the place. It was nuts. And this was like, literally, like, when I was in the hole, I went to court to get sentenced. I got 2 years less. And here I am in this really strange position. I was just not all there. Now you see the icon on my video, and you look to the one on the right. That's where they sent me. I went there. As soon as I got there, man, I got people messing with me, and but I was a big guy back then. Like, I was huge, I was built, I was tough, so it didn't bother me. And I thought that, like, I was inside a movie being projected. So there's a song by Eminem called Role Model, and he dresses up as Superman. Or sorry, he jumps into a TV as Superman. You can look it up on Role Model by Eminem. And I literally made hair dye out of yellow pencil crayon. I colored my hair blonde, but it didn't really work that well. I made a cape out of my towel. I had the jumpsuit on, I had the shirt. I put an M on the shirt because my last name's McKenzie. And I started rapping, and I walked up to the guy, and I had a cup in my hand and a shank in the other hand. I literally tried to kill the guy. And yeah, no, it was, the cup that I had was brown. And if you'll notice on the Eminem video, that Eminem hit him with an acorn on the head. So I pretended that the cup was an acorn. I hit him over the head with it and then tried to shank him. He was pretty tough. Pretty tough. But I pretty much won that fight. And then I went down into it's called OB's Observation Sea Range. That was an interesting place. You can do whatever you want there. You're locked in a cell 24 hours, literally. Nobody gets out for day room. So you're there. You get out once every 2 days for a shower, that's it. And the place is huge. Like, there's 18 cells. Half the cells are double bunked. It's an interesting place, but I got an extra charge there. I had literally 4 guards watching me while I took a shower. Like, there was a door there, so like a bathroom stall kind of door or whatever. But I had my had my handcuffs on and my shackles on, and then I shanked the guard. I can't believe I shanked the guard. You know what's weird? A lot of my viewers are American, and in Canada we have a really lenient justice system. I got 6 months for shanking a guard with my record. So altogether, I got 2 years, 6 months, plus another assault happened. I spat in a guard's face and I got an extra 2 months. So altogether, 32 months. And that's not where it stops. After I got those charges taken care of and I got sentenced, I didn't go to the pen, but they sent me to this place called Fort Saskatchewan. And that was an interesting place. That was the second best place I've ever done time. I was there in Unit 10, which was the psych ward. And I got in a fight there, one fight. But by that time, I was, following Christ here and there. It's, not to change the subject or anything, but before you become a Christian, you kind of have a lukewarm faith in terms of what you believe in. But like, I would go to jail sometimes and preach the word and believe in it and then get out and drink and do stupid things. It's a long process. But just the fact that I haven't been convicted of a crime in 6 years shows that I have a true commitment to Christ, and I repented of my other sins too. But back to the story. So Fort Saskatchewan was okay, I guess. And the last week I was there, I don't know why every single time this happens, but the last week I was there, someone took a broom handle and made a shank out of it, and they were planning on shanking me. I don't know why they didn't. Watch it, I do know why. Because God protected me from that. You meet a lot of interesting people in Fort Saskatchewan. Like this one guy, I don't know what his name was, but Brian or something. His name was Matthew. Whenever he said hello to him, he said, "You want to fight?" And I'm like, "No, dude. It wouldn't be a challenge. It would be cowardly, and I don't feel like getting kicked off the unit." It's an interesting place. But you know what? I could do more jail stories if I get a lot of views for this. But jail isn't the place you want to be. I'll tell you another story that happened in the remand center. Guy was really ticking off the guards, and the guards like literally sprayed mace on his unit. And when I say they sprayed mace on his unit, you can probably guess what I'm talking about. There's been people that have been probed. I'm not really quite sure how to describe that without being disgusting, so I'm going to leave it at that. And, you use your imagination. Getting probed, or people probing other people in jail, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's never happened to me, but I have heard of it happening, and it's just something that I fear the most. That's why I hope I never go back to jail. See, there's two purposes to my channel. One is to make you realize that jail is a horrible place. You don't want to be there. It's not cool. And second, I want people to find Christ, and I want people to spread the word of Christ. So I'm going to come up with I'm not going to I'm not going to talk about glorious things I did, like, I want people to realize that out of all jail systems, Canada being the easiest jail system, it's not really what you think it is. It's a lot, like, for instance, there's one thing that I notice about Canadian jails that are different from American jails. If you have a disability and you're on a regular unit, you get picked on, and that doesn't really happen in American jails. Like, you get bullied and harassed or whatever. I never really did because, I don't know, I just kept to myself. But Canadian jails, if all this stuff is happening in Canadian jails, and there's remand guards and prison guards that beat certain inmates up on a weekly basis, and there's people making we call them bad action people. Bad action, it's someone who just doesn't conduct themselves properly in jail, and they make them eat excrement, crap. It happens sometimes. There's crap bombs. What you do is you take a leak in a cup and then you mix it with crap and toss it in someone's face. Jail's not a good place, and I want to be real about this. There's guards that they'll know who's going to mess with you. If they don't like you, they'll put you in a cell with the biggest guy, the meanest guy. There was a story, and I knew the guy personally, Brody. He was a white supremacist. He was part of Webb, which is Western European bloodline, which kind of went under, but they put him in a cell with a black guy and an, or an Arabic guy, and he got raped. It does happen. Someone tried it on me too. Beat the crap out of them and just said no, and just, dude, you're not gonna do that to me. It's a scary place. You go on one of the more serious units the first time I go on a unit. And the first thing that happened was they asked me why or what I was in for, and I said, I hate crime. They're dragging me into the cell or trying to get me in the cell. I used to be a bad guy. I'm not anymore. I've changed my ways. But yeah, no, didn't have many problems on that unit, but there's people talking about stabbing people, and I'm not trying to sound tough or cool or whatever. I'm trying to help the people that think that jail is cool. It isn't. There's tons of homeless people in jail, corrupt guards that abuse the inmates. They beat up the inmates. They're not supposed to beat you up even if you punch them or not. But I guess that's life for you. And this has been a long video, but I hope this just gets to someone. And there was a Russian guy that I knew who went to jail. And he said something that he shouldn't have. And he got taken off in a stretcher. He was getting stomped on the head for 45 minutes, and guards were walking by, not doing anything. Because up in Canada, the man with the disability doesn't get treated that well. Well, keep God close to you. And if you do end up in jail, mind your own business, do your time, and you should be alright. But if you want to go to jail because it's cool or because you want to survive it or whatever, you're going to run into issues because you're what they call a head. And it's just not going to fly in jail. So I hope that you got something from this. God loves you. And I think it's time for me to go to sleep soon. God bless you. And always remember that God will never leave you or forsake you. He loves you. He will get you through any hard time you're going through. God bless you.